Now, there are different indications where you can use this composite restoration. It is not that it is used anywhere and everywhere inside the oral cavity. It can be used very sparingly. It should be used very sparingly, and it should be used wherever it is indicated. Now, the first important point is you have to check the occlusion of the patient. The composite restoration should be given in a non-stress bearing area, so that the occlusion will tell you with the carbon points or with the occlusal marking papers what is the occlusion, where is the stress bearing areas, which are the stress bearing curves, and what is the position of the tooth in when the patient occludes. So after that, you administer local anesthesia if required, then isolation of the tooth, selection of the shade, then you can decide which type of composite you are going to use for that patient. Then you prepare the cavity and place the matrix band, and then you do your enamel etching and dental conditioning. I specifically made it so clear that enamel etching and dental conditioning are two different things. We have to manage it in a different way. Now then you have to put a bonding agent. After application of bonding agent, you have to cure it, and then again start inserting the composite inside the cavity, and then cure it, and then finally finishing and polishing. Now out of these all steps, enamel etching and dentin conditioner is again a short note which is commonly asked. Bonding agent is another full topic as itself only, but you need to know the generation, which type of bonding agents are there, how they are supplied and how they are supposed to be used, what is the content of bottle A and bottle B, if they are single bottle system, what they are made up of. Now when you talk about the bonding procedure means the surface preparation to remove plaque and debris. Acid etching with the phosphoric acid to remove the minerals and create a porosity to increase the wettability of the surface. Now you are supposed to use orthophosphoric acid 37%. Generally in the Viva it is asked that what is the time of application of acid etching. It is 10 to 15 seconds depending on the conditions and the product which you are using. There are different acid etching agents can be used for different conditions also. But generally the role of acid etching is to remove the debris and the minerals and create a surface porosity on your enamel surface. So it is generally acid etching, and when you put your acid for dentin, it is known as dentin conditioning, because you are not supposed to etch the dentin, you are supposed to etch the enamel. Because of the organic and inorganic content of enamel and dentin, these two terminologies are used. In acid etching, whatever time you are going to apply the acid, the same time should be used for rinsing the acid. That means you are supposed to wash that area, dry it. You are not supposed to desiccate the tooth before bonding. I mean to say that if you desiccate the tooth, then all the dentinal tubules will become flat, and then your bonding will hamper. So there is a concept of wet bonding, or there is a concept of wet bonding which is introduced nowadays. There are some self-etching primers also, that is bonding agent also, so that you don't have to put the acid on the tooth. It will etch and it will also follow the dentinal tubule pattern and create a uniform resin tags for better retention of the composite. Now bonding agents which are applied and flows to fill the porosities and create a resin tags which are known for micromechanical retention. The uniformly formed resin tags will give a better micromechanical retention. Now after this, you are supposed to apply your resin matrix in different layers or different forms, and you are supposed to cure it. That is your curing of bonding agent. And after putting your composite, you are supposed to cure the bonding agent and then load the composite resin. Now there is another short note which is commonly asked, that is sandwich technique. What do you mean by sandwich? As everybody knows, sandwich means there has to be something in between two things, right? These two upper and lower things are same, and the middle thing is something different. That is known as sandwich. That is in between two homogeneous or similar particles, there is something dissimilar than the two particles. Like when you consider same thing in restoration, you are supposed to use two layers of your restoration, so that you can use a cement or temporary cement, or you can use a liner, or you can use a permanent restorative material below your composite resin, that is your sandwich technique. Mostly it is done in cases of deep cavities or wherever there is a subgingival extension of the cavities, so that you cannot put your composite resin into the subgingival area. There you can put your light cure glass ionomer, cure it, and then the top enamel part or the dentin part will be covered by the glass ionomer cement because of its additive properties, which is more palliative to the tooth and the gums. And then this superficial part of that cavity will be filled, or the enamel part of the cavity is filled with the help of your composite, that is known as your sandwich technique. So this is generally asked as a short note or a question. Now, there are different ways by which you can cure this composite, or you can cure this bonding agent. The oldest way was plasma arc. Then there is a quartz tungsten halogen light source or a bulb source, which used to be transmitted through to the lamp to the tooth, and then the composite cured. Then there are few lasers, that is argon laser, which has got a specific affinity for the chromophores which are there inside the composite, so it helps in curing it. Then LED light, there is light emitting diodes. Nowadays these are very famous, commonly used, but their role is to harden the composite. The photo initiator which are there inside, they get activated by when they get exposed to this light. Now there are different time cycles also there, and different ramping cycle. They're known as ramp or different cycles, that is slow cure or fast cure. Now on this, while using this light curing machine, there's going to be a curing of the composite. Now whenever this light is exposed to the outermost surface of your restoration, that is your composite resin, the superficial part is going to get cured. The full depth of the composite doesn't get cured because the superficial part will initially get the maximum dose of light and it will get hardened very fast. Then the inner layer, and then the inner layer. That is the reason, one of the reasons why the composite is to be used. Composite restoration has to be done in layered. It has to be done in a stepwise format. You cannot do a bulk cure. Bulk curing was done in an older way, that is your chemically cured composite or a direct filling composite or adaptic. It was a very old material which was used. Nowadays it is no more used for restoration. So in this case, you are supposed to use in a different increment to take care of the depth of cure as well as cure of the composite. If the composite is not cured completely, the residual monomer is again dangerous for the pulp of the tooth as well as for the longevity of the restoration. That is why the depth of the cure is important and the incremental technique is required. Now, if you compare the chemically cured composite and a light cured composite, there are the main differences, which is again a common Viva question or a short note is asked. When a composite is chemically cured and a light cured, chemically cured composite will polymerize in the center and it will pull out all the material towards the center of the composite, and that is why this composite material will produce more and more gaps at the margin of the restorations, because it is placed in the one layer and it is not done multi-layer. It is placed once and for all. It will pull, it will get cured in the center and it will pull all the chain reaction to the center of the mask. That is why that is the one of the reason why it is discarded. Irrespective of that, the light cure will always cure towards the periphery. It will always cure. The composite will always get cured from the source of the light or from the direction of the light, and it will have curing from this source or the direction of the light. The curing is in one phase. In the light cure, it can be incremental, or you can go multiple steps. You can go multiple ramping also. The chemical cure sets very fast, as well as the light cure sets only when the light activation is done. Here in chemical cure, once the A and B paste are mixed, or two bottle system, two components are mixed, the reaction starts and it ends in 45 seconds. There is no further control, or you cannot retard or fasten that so easily. Irrespective in light cure, you unless and the light is activated, it will not get cured. There is no control over the working time. There is a definite control over the working time, and you can monitor it. The shrinkage toward the center of the bulb, the shrinkage is towards the light source. So you have always extra space between your restoration wall and the composite, so that you can additionally put it and condense, or you can pack more and more amount of material inside. The air may get incorporated in chemically cured. There are less chances of air entrapment. More wastage of material is possible, where in case of light cure you can go increment wise and you can use the minimal material which you want to use inside the cavity. You cannot finish and polish. Generally, these chemically cured composites are they are unfilled resin. So again, their finishing and polishing is again a question mark. Where this light cure composites are filled resin, they have got maximum fillers and opacifier. Plus, the strength of the material is also better. So it takes up the finishing and polishing very fast.